All right, then we're live. Well, let's take a look. So what we have is a downtrend, strong downtrend in the pre-market in the long London session, and the U.S. pre-market took out the London's lows, and we're back. We're back in the value area. Let me just take a look at something here. Yeah, we're back in the value area, retesting the value area high. What I think I will be looking for today would be a pop and fade into previous week's lows. So previous week's lows on SPY, where is that? All right, so here's the market open. Let's see what happens of the open. All right, so we see an attempt to hold the value area low. So PDL and PWL is at the same level for SPY. Ideally, I would look for a pop into that area and then a fade. Okay, so now we're retesting pre-market lows. Well, not there yet. All right, so no trade here. So since we're so much, well, we're not that much down since yesterday's close or lows. Looks like we are because we grinded a higher pre-mark in the Asian session, and then the London session took it lower. I'm still... All right, so here's where we're going to take out the pre-market lows, and let's see if we can find liquidity for a push higher, or if this is just going to be a sell-off. I need to find an entry around my orb. So I'm going to draw the orb, even though it's not completed yet. All right, so this is the 3 candles so far. The selling at the bottom that took out the pre-market lows, it starts to look like it's getting absorbed. It's not enough confirmation yet to take the trade to the upside, because the potential that we're just going to grind lower is still there. So I'm going to be looking for a strong confirmation to see which way we're going to go. Ideally, I would like to see a reversal all the way up to the PDL and PWL for a pop and fade. It looks like we're staying weak. Tempted to take a stab at the shorts here. 3, 4, 5. Here's the orb fully formed. Not yet, actually, sorry. There's 30 more seconds there. Okay. Delta is dropping. And that's the tough part here. We're very close to S4, and I'm not sure where that pivot point came from on SPY or... Yeah, well, there's some sort of a support there, yeah. There's a pivot on a daily. Alright, well, let's just keep an eye on that. Well, so far, weak. Okay, so we broke the orb. We're now retesting it. No, a lot of strong buying present. I might just take a 3-2-1 stab at this. There's some buying here. I see the small green bubble. Okay, well, that's pretty significant. So we're back in the orb. I like that pop. Don't want to be too early. Because if we're gonna stay weak, this could be just pop and fade. But also, the selling wasn't that aggressive, to be honest. And the way we moved was pretty slow. All right, so we see some aggressive selling trying to step in here, but it's unable to push it lower yet. So here's what the pre-market lows are. Is that gonna, I wonder if that's gonna be a V-shaped recovery. I think so. I'm gonna give this a try after seeing these sellers here. The target is high of the day. That's all it is for now. I think this could be a V-shaped recovery. Okay, so that pre-market low rejected on that one candle. Yeah, I might call it. Yeah, I was gonna say this was a little premature. I should have waited for a higher low here, seeing the pre-market pivot. I need to try that again because I think the idea was okay, just a little too early. Okay, clearly not the right thesis here. Or timing. All right, so the question is, do we hold this low here? We're trying. No, I don't want to get stepped out for the third time in the same trade. So I'm just gonna wait a little longer. Okay, so we got this shift of point of control, which I like. Okay, so the shift is right here. So the idea is a bounce of that point of control for a move up higher. I still think we can try to look for that pop and fade to previous week's lows. Very nice. It's a very nice candle. Now testing lower deviation band. And a trend line. It's also a trend line here. I've got to be mindful of that. All right, let's see if we can keep pushing. Even if we pull back, I need this to hold. Here's all that buying at the deviation band. If this rejects, we might be in trouble. I like my entry price. I don't want to try to sell into this area and then, or even average higher. So I would like to add to the position, but it's gonna mess up my average entry, and then it will mess up my trade management. Okay, so this could sell off here. There is a resistance. It could make a lower high on a 5-minute. Let's see that. Probably unlikely. I like the hold so far. Come on, climb back up. I'd like to see a pop through the highs. We need to break the highs. Where's our pre-market high? Okay, so pre-market high is at 6,500-ish. I'm looking what the point of control is, and it's straight in the middle of the pre-market trading range. I'm gonna take my profits here. It sucks because I took 2 losses and I'm now break even. It was a good trade. So I'm back at the starting point. But what's concerning is that the point of control is really right in the middle of this range. And I have a feeling that this is gonna go sideways. It is now actually on top. So the point of control is actually above us at 92. That tells me that there might be another leg. We might be going back and forth. Yeah, I think I might be tempted to go short here. Yeah, I think I am. Let's see if we can retest the lows. Okay, that's a pop here. I don't like that. That's where the point of control is now. Back in the middle. I'm scalping. Yeah, I'm gonna need to try to stay away, stay out of trouble here. So Nasdaq is testing the lows. Okay, right here. And if that point of control stays in the middle, then we're just gonna see. Then we gotta buy the bottoms and sell the tops and target the middle. But if we created this lower high on the 5 minutes, then we might not get the pop to previous day's lows or previous week's low and actually get an entry. To the downside. Maybe a break and a retest of orb. Nasdaq broke the lows. Let's see if that's a trap also. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna bounce again. Okay, it's incorrect. Going for breakout to the downside. So that 5-minute close outside the orb. So this one is continuing to push. Let me see if I can get a tighter stop loss and a nice entry. I mean, technically that 5-minute orb. I don't want to chase that candle. I probably would like to see it pop into the lower deviation band and point of control, and then a sell off of that. That's not where I want to short. It might work. Looks like S4 is failing. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. Let's see if we can get a pullback. Alright, so we're continuing to sell off. Now I wish, right, that I have kept my my trade open that I shorted up on top here. I'm still interested in a pullback, a significant pullback where we can find a short entry. It could be this this low right here, or it could be the orb. Just anything that will get us back in the around this blue box, or even as high as upper deviation band or lower deviation band. I'm okay with that. I might have to start my position around here. Oh, that was a quick, that's a quick rejection here. So when you see a speed of tape like that, it means that there's either a large order that it's gonna continue the move or actually reverse it. It was pretty significant the way that happened. Yeah, push this higher. All right, so we're retesting that pivot soon. Come on, S4. So you're gonna act as a strong resistance here. Then I might have to sell limit here. All right, I don't know. I'm gonna have to try because of the significance of that rejection. And then S4 is acting pretty decent resistance. There's some absorption happening down here. I'm gonna keep this stop loss tight. This should break down right here. If it doesn't, it wants to grind back up higher. Yeah, all this buying coming in here. Yeah, all right, so let's let that, I kept that tight, so let's see what happens here. This might want to try to push this higher all the way to the deviation band. All right, so here's where it gets tricky. So we're rejecting that pivot low. So all this buying is not really getting rewarded. I want to see I want to see grind back up a little higher. I really would want a retest of that orb or even the view up deviation band. It might not give us. All right, so we're continuing to build this level of resistance around this area. I mean, I could try to get in here and then have a sell limit order. Yeah, I'm gonna try here. My stop loss will have to be the moment I enter, it wants to go higher. I need to be more patient about this. Yeah, it will pop through and then fade. I'm closing it. Yeah, I'm closing. I'm not waiting. I'm gonna keep this stop loss right here. If it breaks, it breaks. Yeah, look at that. It wants to climb back up. Let's wait. It might just want to pop and then fade off the orb level. Yeah, I think it's... Yep. I need to wait for order confirmation as well, which I don't see yet. Okay, that's good. I need to see more aggressive selling, but that might come in after this candle closes. Yeah, look at this, right? It still wants to push higher. It's not ready to let go. I still think, yeah, it will pop first. Well, it keeps getting rejected here, so that's good, but it might stop people out before actually makes them move lower. Yeah, here it's coming. It's pretty cool how that S4 keeps rejecting. But it needs to start moving. If it's not, then I need to keep that stop loss tight. It's trying to do me dirty here. I need to figure out the target here. When I look at the daily candle, I mean, there's a level of support. I mean, Yeah, Nasdaq is retesting a level of support, but it's been a long time ago. It's hard to be exact. This is a 30-minute. Okay, so still not ready to let go. It's building this structure down here. Yeah, I don't like it anymore. That 5-minute needs to needs to reject again. Or it will want to. Yeah, I think it wants to pop. I don't want to let that turn into a losing trade here. Well, it can turn into a losing trade. I just don't want to oversize myself if this will pop. I think it wants to. Mm-hmm. All right, let me turn on my VWAP on SPY and NASDAQ. Okay, so we're inside the deviation band. I see. All right, then let's look for a pop into the VWAP, which will coincide with my orb level. Come on, I need more of a pop. Man, that makes it even trickier here. So we get the retest of the pivot low almost at VWAP. But if this makes a higher low here, then it's not done yet. There's some aggressive selling is stepping in. So that those sellers did not get rewarded yet. Come on, how are we looking? Alright, so we're inside the deviation band still. Still below the pivot low. Here's all the aggressive buying now that wants to come in here. Alright, so let's have it push us higher, retest the VWAP, retest the deviation band and the orb, and try to look for pop and fade. Oh wow, so now the point of control has shifted. It does want to move higher. That's interesting. That is very interesting. Here's the VWAP. Okay. Here's where I want to catch a momentum squeeze. But you know what? Let me keep it really, really, really tight. I think it's a little premature. This is where I could fade at the VWAP. But looking at the point of control that's now at S4, that's very interesting. A lot of times these fades happen after we break VWAP. And then you get a pullback. Right? Just like this. But I no longer think this is going to go lower. I think it still wants to retest, fill the gap, and try the PDL. Yeah, I do. We're just now inside the orb. Let's see if we can find another leg higher here. Testing VWAP, staying on top of that. Nasdaq is still lagging. Alright, so this isn't quite ready yet. Here's the point of control in the middle now. I need to be careful with this. This could really, since it's shifted now, and we're in the middle, this could fade again. This could easily fade. Yeah. Don't like that at all here. Come on, keep pushing off that POC. Yeah, don't like that at all. Gonna call it a loser. Yeah, here's the POC. This is gonna be one of the tricky ones right here because I think all the selling got absorbed, buying came in, and now we just have that point of control that we need to get over. I don't think there's much more room to go lower. I could be, man, I could be completely wrong. This NASDAQ is staying weaker for sure. It's rejecting VWAP, but it's now testing lower deviation band and a pivot low. SPY is actually rejecting my orb. Well, this would be valid. This would be a valid orb setup. I gotta look at the big picture, I guess. And we are in a downtrend, and this was the pop that I needed originally. And since the point of control is at around my orb, lower orb area, then I need to trust that. What tricked me was the switch when we got back to when the point of control switched to the bottom of the trading range. Creating a higher low here will be a problem for the shorts. Yeah, I don't like that at all now. I gotta close my trade. None of this is looking good to me to really short it. It's not looking that clean anymore. We had that pop and fade, but we really are creating a higher low, and the point of control is back again at the 64 area. Okay, this is a significant hold, and also a rejection right now, but I mean, Nasdaq is looking weaker, but it still doesn't look good as a short. I like the absorption here. I'm gonna give it a try. I hope the selling gets squeezed here and spikes the price higher. Okay, some buying came in here. All right, let's watch what happens after this candle closes. If we can actually push higher, seeing the aggressive buying that just came in. It's still anybody's game here. I mean, we've got aggressive selling and aggressive buying. Being in a downtrend, the sellers are usually in control. But I'm looking for a squeeze here. Whoever wants to short these lows. Okay, this is more like it. Come on, keep pushing. Tricky part is so SPY is inside the deviation bands, but Nasdaq is not. And so this battle here might take a while. Well, it's trying to squeeze the shorts. It's not easy. All right, so we had that pop on SPY. It didn't record on ES, but that was an upper wick. Yeah, that's the problem. Shorts are getting squeezed, pops are getting faded. Here's a significant sell-off after the buying. It's a fight. Let's just see who gets to win this. cheering for the bulls here, obviously. So let's see. Now it's starting to look weaker. Yep, and then the selling is coming in here. Can we guard this level? I'm not sure anymore. Yeah. Of course we're gonna try to pop here. Okay, so this is interesting again. Let's see where that pop takes us. This is a pop back into lower deviation band. SPY and NASDAQ. There's the confirmation that I needed. I need this to close back inside the value area. And we're going to try to ride it higher. Oh, you look so beautiful. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're still getting reminded that this is we're in a downtrend on the daily. So any attempts to go long in a downtrending market are challenging. Even right now, this is a really, really frustrating situation where I could have taken some. All right, I'm going to close this because I'm basically where I entered. I can always try to re-enter just like that. So it's frustrating because I didn't take any profits on that move up, back up higher. The fuck? That's it? Excuse my language. So we rejected that trend line I had drawn before. I like the holds still on the value area high. At least we're attempting to hold that. And then SPY is hanging around the VWAP. Yeah, I still like the higher highs, higher lows. Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested here. Come on, don't just screw around here. It's very interesting because we are rejecting the orb, but we're holding the value area high. Let's try to, come on, let's try to find a squeeze here to the upside. Come on, I don't love those rejections. Nasdaq is still below VWAP. Come on, can we squeeze through this? Apparently not yet. We're trying. Okay. Let me see some aggressive buying. Ideally, we want to see a pivot, higher pivot low on a 5-minute. This could also just pop higher. Okay, so here's a view up on Nasdaq. This is where we'll see a pullback for sure. SPY is testing. It's trying to test the value area high. I think we can squeeze through this area. I might just let this, if it pops, I will let it just grind, pop higher and then wait for a pullback on a 5-minute to add to the position. Because I think this will try to pop to the highs. This could squeeze to the highs here. Okay, so we broke that trend line. We might see a pullback here. So Nasdaq rejecting VWAP. SPY is trying to make a higher low. Okay, I'll be right back. Or actually, might just... Okay, so we have retested the trend line. That's pretty cool. On 5-minute, and there you go. There's that push towards pre-market low. We have now tested pre-market low. Might have to close this here. Yeah, I'm gonna close it just to lock in some profits that all these buyers got absorbed. Let's look for a pullback, for a re-entry. Okay, so that retest is pretty good. I think we can try to find another entry. We're still above the value area high, still above the point of control. The pre-market has rejected the first time, but I think we can find. I'm gonna try a small piece here with the stop loss at the value area high. Maybe a little prematurely here because the orb is still rejecting. Yeah, maybe a little too early. We might try to test. We might even try to test the S4 before we. Yep, I might have to just move the stop, get tagged. Yeah, I'm gonna let that, paper cut me here. Don't love the entry yet. All right, zooming out to a 5-minute chart. The 5-minute is still a bit tricky because we are in a down, like I said, in a downtrending market. But we've made significant higher lows. We're attempting to hold VWAP. And I think it's a viable idea. The question is, do we need to pull back to point of control first? Okay, so here's the pullback to S4. Also, POC. S4 is attempting to hold, which is also lower deviation band, which is also POC. I mean, there's the confluence here, which I like. The negative is that we are in a downtrend and we're still making lower highs on the 15-minute. The 5-minute is tricky. Okay, I might have to trust the POC here. I am liking the holds. Let's see if we can get in here without getting faded. So that's my 5 contract position. Come on, I don't like that. Immediate rejection. It just means that I have bad timing on those entries. Because it doesn't mean that it might not work, but it's I bought into, the VWAP on SPY. Here we go. Here's the extra confirmation of the hold, which is better for trying to enter down here. But it's not great. It might still fail. Yeah, here we are. Aye. I mean, it's still tempting to go along here. There's my temptation. Killed. So what are we doing here? Are we getting rid of sellers? Let's see what that candle finishes. Can we engulf it? That would be... Because it's hard for me to go short today anymore. It's easier to go long, but still it's tricky. Let's see if we can engulf that candle and close above S4. That would be also inside the deviation bands. The 1 minute at this point is just a tricky game to play. Looking at the 5 minute, and the 5 minute, Yeah, I have no idea which way it wants to go yet. I mean, since we trapped buyers in the orb and then kept rejecting the lower orb, now we're closing below S4 and the deviation band, it does look bearish on a larger time frame. But if we look at this here, sellers got absorbed, buyers got absorbed. This is all outside the value area. I guess if I was looking for, if I want to continue to look for long trades, then this would be the area to try to buy. Lower deviation band, value area low. Alright, so let's see if we can reclaim S4. So S4 is our point of control. Okay, nice. You know what? I'm gonna move that. I mean, I like the spike. Holy crap. Why wasn't I in it? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Trading these days, man. Alright, let's see where this takes us. So that point of control has delivered. I mean, we got rid of the sellers and got that pop higher, but let's see what happens here. I would attempt a small buy right here. That would be my idea. If we can hold the value area high here, I think we can try. I mean, that pop and fade, man, it's nasty. Alright, so we're trying to hold. Can we hold this value area high? No. Here's VWAP. It's really nasty. The way that candle swept everything, but it's pretty low value. Come on, hold this area here. This is VWAP on SPY. Value area high. My little trend line there. Come on, hold this. Okay. Trying to hold and bounce off of it. That doesn't mean anything yet. I do like that we held the value area high. very good. A lot of aggressive buying. After we broke the pre-market low. Let's see if we can break through the highs and actually shoot for the gap fill. All right. Okay, so we hit the. Okay, so we've got this resistance that we just hit. And I'm gonna try. I don't like the rejection of that level. I might have to lock in profits here. Yeah, I have to do that. It's too much on the table. I think there might be still an entry here. I just don't like that. I mean, we're making higher lows and we're grinding higher. That's fine. However, there might be still a pullback back to upper deviation bands and a retest of this pivot right here, which is 64.80 or even, yeah, around 64.80. Okay, so we're trying to hold 64.80. We're not done yet. This is the upper deviation band on SPY, and we're inside the bands on NASDAQ. NASDAQ might even go for a VWAP retest. I mean, ideally to re-enter here, I'd like to see a pullback to the lower orb, which is the value area low. I don't know if we're going to get that. I'd like to see a dip below 64.80 and then a quick engulfing candle or absorption of sellers. All right, here's where it should try to make a higher low. Come on, let's try to hold this here. No? Okay, let's wait. Back to VWAP probably. All right, this is the area. Let's see if we can hold this. The problem is the 642 on SPY. This is where we rejected heavily again. Buyers got absorbed. So I'm not sure about going long again here into this supply. Yeah, not sure. Not sure I want to do that. But if I were looking for trade to the upside. This is where I need to buy in. I'm gonna try a little bit here. Still above the value area, still above POC. This is where I need to get in. It's a retest of that little trend line that I had. Yeah, this is where I should enter for another leg higher. Man, it's been a tough day to trade, but I'm gonna be break even if I lose this trade. I'm looking for reasons. Let me look at the 60 minute. The 60 minute is tricky, man, because we're in this downtrend and that pop. Hmm. 64.90 is not no joke of a resistance. Yeah, that's not a high probability for me. I mean, it's looking like it wants to build that higher low on the 5 minute. But I would need to see us break above the high of the day and a retest. So tempted though. All right, I'm gonna step away for a minute and I'll come back. And I'll come back and look if there's another trade that's higher probability than this.